new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new season for us all, and we're feeling good. It's time for the F4 UAE Championship. It's the 8th competition that we have run here in the United Arab Emirates, and what a venue to start the season. The Yas Marina circuit, so famous for its journey in Formula One for the last 15 years. But these guys are on the path to Grand Prix glory. It's their first stepping stone into the world of international motorsport stardom. They've got a lot of challenges ahead. Just acclimatizing themselves from the car is going to be an interesting opening challenge for the 2024 season. So let's see the runners and riders and what their chances are coming into the new season.
The 2024 F4 UAE Championship will be the 8th time the series has run, and with previous champions having gone on to greatness in world motorsport, it's time to see who will be the next in line. The French squad, Race GP, has a strong lineup for 2024, consisting of Frenchman Raphael Narak and rookie Gilles Caranta, along with Enzo Ye and Lucas Samalisto, both with a strong reputation from their karting programs. Excel Motorsport are back to reclaim the crown they've won 3 times before, but are fully aware of the challenges ahead, with Alves Rodella joined by Chinese F4 stars Thiago Rodriguez and Liu Kaixin. Yas Heat Racing come off the back of their win at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix Trophy race, with the winner, Keanu Al-Azari, still on board, alongside his karting friend and adversary, Zach Scular. Expect Al-Azari to be shooting for wins and the title, as he bids to become the first from the UAE to do so. High-Tech are raring to go, and Formula One's loss is F4 UAE's continued gain, with one of the strongest rookie lineups in the championship's history, as Reza Sivaruthin joins Deegan Fairclough and Gabriel Stilp, along with the experienced Sebastian Murray. The rebranded PHM squad, now in partnership with Ikes, looks spectacular, and Nikita Bedrin leads the 3 young rookies Everett Stack, Max Popov and Kamal Murad, so there could be a few wins before the season's end. Prema Racing have 2 drivers competing in the squad's official branding, as Rashid Al-Daheri continues his Italian journey with the same squad, now joined by French racer Dorian Pin, who'll be in F1 Academy starting in March. Newcomers AGI Sport have already conquered Australia in F3. Now they wish to do the same in the Middle East in F4, and with the experience of Kari Schreiner and Jack Beaton, coupled with the youthful exuberance of Peter Buzanelos and Nicolas Stati, anything's possible. Santalok Racing won their first F4 crown in Spain last year. Now they want more silverware and have acquired a talented squad. Colombia's Max Restrepo, Belgium's Aurelia Nobels, UAE's Matteo Quintarelli and Sri Lanka's Yavan David. Mumbai Falcons return to retain their crown from 2023 and with a superstar lineup to boot. British hotshot Freddie Slater and Indian star Dion Gowda will be joined by karting heroes Kia Nakamura Berta of Japan and Alex Powell, the Miami-based Jamaican. Finally, Pinnacle Motorsport have unfinished business in F4 UAE and have a pair of strong drivers to fight for glory. Kai Dadianani, who has the support and backing of none other than Dan Wells, with Chinese star Fu Yuhao.
It really is a who's who as to the drivers that are going to be making their way to the grids of Monaco, Indianapolis and Le Mans in the next 10 years. A fabulous plethora of competition to come then. And here we are on the support paddock grid here at the Yas Marina circuit. It is definitely going to be a very tough opening race, that is for sure. So many competitors going for the W. After qualifying, if you missed it earlier, well, everybody here at the United Arab Emirates is going to be delighted to hear that it is a local that is starting on pole position. Keanu Al-Azari for the Yas Heat Racing Academy, which is based right here at the Yas Marina circuit. They are on pole position after a fabulous performance. The drivers just about to make their way to the starting grid positions, but what a start to the F4 UAE journey for 2024. To note that Keanu Al-Azari has come into pole position fresh out of the blocks and straight off the back of his win in the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix trophy round that took place at the tail end of 2023. He's in the form of his life right now and is going to be very keen to continue that bandwagon. But as always in F4, there are plenty of amazing young drivers trying to push their way further forward. Freddie Slater, who dominated pretty much everything he touched in the 2023 motor racing season, from Ginetta Juniors to the KZ2 European Karting Championship of FIA, as well as a little bit of F4 as well. So he's going to be right up at the sharp end, hoping to keep the bandwagon rolling for Mumbai Falcons. They left off in 2023 with the 2 main championship contenders. Come with me onto the grid a little bit and we'll seek out some of the competitors that are going to be making a play here on the starting grid. Pole pole position reserved for the number 1, and that of course is Keanu Al-Azadi. But this man, Kia Nakamura Berta, making his way to second position on the starting grid, the former junior world karting champion and European senior karting champion, right up there on the front end of the grid, with Freddie Slater in position number 3. It's going to be fascinating to see how he gets on. We're going to move out of the middle of the circuit because that is going to need to be made clear so that pole position man Keanu Al-Azadi can make his way through. But there's so many drivers to watch out for, particularly as well in 4th position from Miami in Florida, Alex Powell from the Mercedes F1 Junior program. He's going to be one to watch over the course of this season, has been very quick straight away in the world of single-seater competition, and is definitely going to be a star of the future. Toto Wolff of the Mercedes F1 team highly rates this boy, and he's definitely going to be a strong charger. As always, you've got a whole plethora of Mumbai Falcons up at the sharp end of the field, and there is a 4th one, and this one is actually of Indian heritage. Dion Gowda is going to be right up there at the sharp end of the field as well. But here comes the pole sitter, Keanu Al-Azadi, making his way past us. He will be putting himself into pole position very shortly indeed. In the similar liveried car of the Yazheat Racing team is Rashid Al-Daheri. He comes from just down the road from here in Abu Dhabi. And so of all of the competitors on the grid, he is the most local. His home is just a few short minutes away from the circuit. And he has literally grown up on this race circuit and living the dream of what motor racing is going to be for him and the nation in the future. So many great contenders to watch out for. Deegan Fairclough and Dorian Pin are there in the top 10 as well. So there's a lot of great competition that we're going to be looking at over the course of the races. However, there are plenty of stories, not just at the front, but also in the midfield. A few short years ago, Excel Motorsport were the dominant team in F4 UAE, and they've got it double bubble this year. Not only are they running a team in F4 UAE, but for the very first time, also in Formula Regional. Earlier, I caught up with their team principal, Kevin Day. Are not a new team, but they're certainly new into Formula Regional, and the team boss Kevin Day is with me. Kevin, this is a bit of a interesting new challenge for Excel to step up from F4 to Formula Regional in 2024.
Yeah, it's our first year in Regional. We planned to do it last year. It didn't quite come together, but this year we've got 2 cars out. It's a bit of a learning curve, but we're ready for it. Got great engineers and staff to run the cars.
It looks like an exciting start to the project. I mean, Noah and Yaroslav are already getting up to speed, so how confident are you guys for success in the first year?
We're looking to learn. The boys are good. They'll pick up the pace through the season, I think. It's a learning curve for everyone, but yeah, looking forward to it.
Now, we also have to talk about F4 UAE, because obviously you guys have won the title on 3 occasions, so you guys know how to get this done. Yeah. What's it like at the start of a season when you've got a whole new crop of talent and they're all learning the ropes for the first time?
Yeah, it's obviously a learning curve for a lot of them. Some of them have done seasons before in Europe. Not many that we have this year. Johan Poo, obviously, he's coming in for his first season. Unfortunately, he can't be here this weekend. He's got good pace. Alves has showed some promise already today. And Tiago and Kai are just stepping up from Chinese F4. The level here is the Premier level because it's all the teams from across Europe. The best of the best, really. So it's a challenge. But I think through the season, you'll see all our guys improve nicely.
It's interesting how a lot of people kind of refer to this place as almost like the World Championship for F4. There are so many drivers coming from lots of different categories, from Italy, from France, from the UK, even from Australia. And now we're here in the UAE. You guys have been here since day one. Has it been quite exciting to see how it's kind of all come together and how it's grown so quickly?
Yeah, the growth of the championship is really good. Obviously, we were a bit concerned with the Spanish championship starting and the Arabian one, but the grid size is good. The talent's here. You've got the likes of Prema, High Tech, MP, although they're not doing F4 here this year, they're here for regional. PHM, they're all good teams, good talented drivers. Yeah, it's exciting.
And with good teams, obviously comes the dial up to the 11 of competition. How are you guys finding that?
Oh, it's good. It's tough. We obviously run the Yazheat team. They're showing promise with Keanu. So yeah, we're looking good. I think we'll be okay.
And you guys have been very much the sort of the linchpin for young talent to come through. You've won over 20 karting titles here in the Middle East, then stepping up to Formula 4. Where does the passion keep coming for you every single year? You seem to just get more and more of a buzz for doing this every year that comes around.
Because it's more exciting than my day job. Yeah, the motor racing is a real passion for me as team owner. something I started with Jamie when he was young in karting, and it just sort of expanded. So the F4, then the regional. We plan to go to Europe this year. We're trying to get into the British F4. For us, we need to do a summer season somewhere. Through COVID, it sort of curtailed our chances to do that, but we're planning to go back this year and looking forward to that.
So looking at what pre-season testing has given us so far, what do you think we can expect in terms of the title battle? I'm guessing it's going to be very close amongst all the teams and drivers, and hopefully you guys are going to be part of that.
100%, yeah. There's no races done yet, no qualifying done yet. We'll see how it goes today. With the drivers that we have, the ones that are just coming in as rookies, we build them up through the season. The ones that have done races, it's a chance for them to prove themselves.
Fantastic. We wish you all the best for the season, Kevin, and hopefully you guys will be right at the front as usual. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
And they are definitely cutting the candle at both ends by running in both championships. Here is the circuit layout, and it's the Grand Prix corkscrew circuit that we're using this time. You're probably wondering, why aren't we using the full Grand Prix layout? Well, we are, just not this weekend. The second round of the championship will see us go to the full-scale Grand Prix layout that you see in Formula One, but we like to mix things up, and obviously, if there's only 2 venues in the FIA Formula Regional Middle East Championship, you have to have 3 different layouts for super license points to be valid in both F4 and in Formula Regional. Everybody getting a decent picture on the starting grid of what is going to be a really exciting battle. The first of 15 races in the F4 UAE Championship for 2024. A really exciting battle. And we're going to see Keanu Al-Azadi on pole position alongside Kian Nakamura-Berta. That's going to be a bit like the karting days all over again. We're going to see some really exciting duels between those guys with cars now rather than karts. And really nice to see him put in a fantastic effort out there on the course. Freddie Slater, 3rd position on the grid. Alex Powell in 4th position. That man should be impressive to watch. Deegan Fairclough for the High-Tech Racing team. Having come through from various different categories. He was in the BRSCC Ford Fiesta Junior Championship a few years ago, I do believe, and has now worked his way forward. There is Jack Beaton, the Australian. He had good experience last year and is now taking it up a notch now with the new AGI Sport team that have come all the way from Ingleburn in Australia. And great to see them put on a fantastic show in their first outing. Carrie Schreiner, the fabulous lady driver, racing in F1 Academy this year with backing from Sauber. So it could be interesting to see what she does. They didn't get qualifying right at all, unfortunately. She didn't have the same sort of pace in qualifying that she was able to show in the practice sessions. So she's got a lot of ground to make up and a lot of overtaking to do. But she is one of the drivers out there that should be able to do that. That's definitely one for the phone wallpaper, isn't it? Plenty of competitors getting themselves geared up and ready. 28 minutes plus the additional lap in F4. And there's Aurelia Nobles, who has both Belgian and Brazilian heritage. Actually comes and lives in... comes from and lives in Boston, Massachusetts, would you believe? So very well traveled. Rafael Narak has already been nicknamed McNarak with this very distinguishable sponsor there on the sidelines. Other fast food options are, of course, available. But now we're getting ourselves ready for an exciting challenge out there on the course. The United Arab Emirates once again begins the single-seater international motorsport season. And fabulous the racing is set to be. A really exciting challenge for all of the competitors out there. From Keanu Al-Azadi on the front of the grid down to Nicolas Stati at the back. Just 3 seconds separates the entirety of this 33-car field. When you consider that a lot of these drivers are in their first ever car race, that is pretty sensational. It shows you the level to which we are at. I can remember back in the day when I was a youngster about the same age as these guys, single-seater junior ladder races would see the back of the front separated by about 10 seconds. Now it's 3, and it shows you just how high the level of professionalism is at this stage. Off we go. The green light is on, and we're on the formation lap for the first time in 2024. Keanu Al-Azadi and Kian Nakamura-Berta lining up on the front row of the starting grid. Then it is the 2 teammates for Mumbai Falcons, Freddie Slater and Alex Powell on the second row. Dion Gauda and Rashid Al-Daheri will be on row 3. Then Deegan Fairclough and Dorian Bin will be on the 4th row. Alvis Rodella and Matteo Quintarelli to round out the top 10. Rafael Narak and Gabriel Stilp on row 6. Then Jack Beaton and Zach Scular. Nikita Bedrin is alongside Jules Caranta on row 8. Then on row 9, it is Enzo Ye and Yavan David, all the way from Sri Lanka. Sebastian Murray, who lives here in the United Arab Emirates. The Scot is alongside Maxi Restrepo, who comes all the way from Colombia in South America. Then it is Reza Sararuthan, the Bristolian, alongside the Finn Lucas Samalisto. Louis Kaishin, man from Hong Kong, lining up alongside the Australian Peter Buzanelos. Then his countryman, Kamal Murad, alongside the Macau driver, Thiago Rodriguez, Chinese F4 champion. Max Popov lining up 27th alongside Aurelio Nobles. Then Kai Darianani, the gamer-turned-racing driver, alongside Kari Schreiner. And then at the back of the field, we have Everett Stack, Fu Yuhao, and Nicholas Starty. So a fabulous opportunity then to see who is going to be the next big thing in F4. So many talented competitors in the past, and an amazing array of racing drivers that have come through the F4 UAE Championship in the past. Some of them have gone on to massive things over the course of the last few seasons, set up by the now president of the FIA, Mohammed Ben Sulayem, in his particular position at the time as the president of the ATC UAE. And of course, it was a fabulous opportunity that started off in 2016. Great to see that all of the competitors now that have won championships at this level have gone on to big things. Jonathan Aberdeen, Charles Wirtz, Matteo Nannini, Francesco Pizzi, Enzo Trilli, Charlie Wirtz, and James Wharton. Some of them are still on the climb up the ladder. Some of them have reached the peak of GT and sports car racing already. But there's plenty more still to come. And of the rookie champions in the past, well, one of them has reached Formula One, namely Logan Sargent. He was the rookie champion back in 2017, along with the likes of David Schumacher, Matteo Nannini, Francesco Pizzi, Enzo Trilli, Rafael Camara, and the Tiger himself, Tuukka Tarpanen, who you'll see out later in the Formula Regional race that that follows this one, I should say. This is the 137th F4 UAE Championship race in its history. And what a battle it's going to be. Very tough to know who's going to get the best of it from the outset. But we are in for an absolutely cracking show, that is for sure, as everybody is gearing up, ready for the action and the drama that will unfold. A really sensational battle to come our way. And the drivers are all geared up, ready for the showdown. Who's going to get the run to the first corner? Can Keanu Al-Azari run from the start and stay in the lead? It will be a very tricky situation for him. He's got to try and hold his nerve in front of Kian Nakamura-Berta, Freddie Slater, and Alex Powell. A lot have been written about these four, and they're just going to keep writing the way that this qualifying session for us has proceeded. So now we go into the race battle. 28 minutes plus 1 lap. And the racing is going to be fast and furious throughout. Al-Azadi, Nakamura-Berta, Slater, Powell, Gauda, Aldeheri, Fairclough, Pin, Rodella, and Quintarelli. That's a very competitive top 10. The green flag at the back of the field. We're now going to watch the lights go out, and when they do, we will be underway, but there's a jump start. It's one of the high-techs that got a very early launch there. I think that is Gabriel Stilp who jumped the start. But anyway, Keanu Al-Azari's had a howler of a start as all three of the Mumbai Falcons around him have managed to get through up into the first couple of corners. So as they go through turn 1, it's Nakamura-Berta in the lead from Slater and Powell. Al-Azari dropping down in a 4th position and now running wide with up in the air slightly. Deegan Fairclough going airborne. Just a couple of wheels off the deck. And as the field works its way through up to the W Hotel for the first time, it's still cold tyres, bit of a greasy start as Zach Scular gets a little bit wide on the curbs, manages to shut it down on the radius, but there's still plenty of drama on the first lap here at Yas Marina. We start the championship where we ended it last year, and everybody's already starting to go for a bit of a move or two. But out in front, it is the Mumbai Falcon that leads the way of Kian Nakamura-Berta. He has the advantage up front. A little bit of a run wide there from one of the high-techs in the background. I think that might be Stilp. And obviously, with that jump start of his, he's already got problems coming his way. Down to the first corner, a couple of drivers trying a move or two. Scular looks like he's got to move on one of the Race GP cars on the inside line there into the Formula One turn 1. But they're coming up to the corkscrew. This is where things change. Formula One fans won't recognize this next section because they turn left here and they will drop down through the corkscrew. So the competitors will be weaving their way through the slower section of the course. It's very greasy, not a lot of grip. It's quite reduced, and on the inside, that's one of the Santalocks getting a move there on the inside line. So already a very hectic start, but as they drop down the hill, very similar to Laguna Seca's corkscrew. Al-Azari's worked his way to 3rd, now he's going to go for 2nd. Possible jump start for the number 6. I think possible is not the word I would have used. But as they make their way through in the end of the lap, Looks like a couple of drivers trying for a move or two, and as they come through at the end of the opening lap, it's going to be Kia Nakamura that leads the way from Al-Azhari. Slater in third position, but now going wheel to wheel as Alex Powell tries to use the draft to work his way forward. Epic start to F4 racing so far here at Yas Marina. And the time ticks down on the main straight. Everybody's still trying to get into the rhythm. Look at the lead that Nakamura has already started to build. Fairclough in 5th place in front of Al-Daheri, then Gouda, Stilp, who's obviously got problems coming. Dorian Pin in 9th position, big lock up there from Gabriel Stilp as he tries to run in front of Dorian Pin, the former World Endurance Championship racer in LMP2. Then Bedrin, Rodella, Quintarelli, Beaton, Scoulard, David, Narakier and Caranta. So a very solid start from several drivers in the mix, but there's plenty still to come. These drivers are just starting to get into a rhythm. Thank goodness we didn't have a safety car on the opening lap of the season. Everybody keeping themselves to themselves and being very smart about it. Keanu Al-Azhari now in 2nd place, but he's got a lot of work to do to catch back up to Kia Nakamura. Not the best of starts for the Yas Heat driver, but there's still opportunity knocking for him. Nakamura trying to pull clear as they come up to the corkscrew section on the 2nd lap. This is a really greasy part of the circuit. They turn left through here and then they drop down through the right, through the left. But there's not been a lot of running on this circuit in the last 3 years. The last time F4 UAE drove on this part of the course was in 2021. So there's not a lot of grip that the drivers will find at that point. I seem to remember on that particular day it was Hamdar Al-Kubaisi that disappeared out into the distance. So another driver from the United Arab Emirates right up in the sharp end of the field. But Keanu Al-Azhari, who was on pole position, now with some work to do to catch up to Kia Nakamura, the Japanese driver up in front, who carries the British flag under his license. And he lives in London in the United Kingdom. There is Keanu Al-Azhari, who lives about an hour and a half down the road in main city Dubai. Bit of a lock up there on the inside apex radius. Nakamura still has the opportunity, but Al-Azhari is eating up the road already. He's not letting Nakamura get that far clear. Comparable on pace, but Nakamura's lead is not as big as it seemed to be. Bit of a lock up there from the man in, I would say, 2nd. I think that was Al-Azhari locking up a little bit there. You've got to be careful not to lock the brakes and tyres there. Fairclough in 5th. Al-Daheri in 6th, then Gouda, Stilp, Pin, and the man who's looking to be on reverse grid pole for race 2 tomorrow is Nikita Bedrin. Look how close they're getting to the Armco as they come through the W Hotel corner. They are absolutely flirting with disaster on the way through there. Goodness me, they are going close to the Armco. Some drivers getting very shaky on these opening couple of minutes of the race season and definitely pushing the limit. So Nakamura just trying to settle into that rhythm now. Doesn't want to really lose ground, especially now that Keanu Al-Azhari's found his feet. Dion Gouda with a little bit of work to do. In front of him is Deegan Fairclough and Rashid Al-Daheri. Those are 2 drivers that are not going to be easy to overtake. Rashid Al-Daheri's now settled into a really neat flow. So they continue to push their way further forward. Alex Powell's looking pretty content in 4th position to run behind Freddie Slater for the moment. Rashid Al-Daheri looks like he could be on the move of Deegan Fairclough before too long. Certainly a very solid start at the moment. I think this is one of the best starts to a season in terms of not having any yellow flags or anything that we've had for a long time, and it's great to see. Bit of a battle going on in the background. That's Rashid Al-Daheri having a look at Deegan Fairclough down to the hairpin. And of course the sun coming in is going to make things interesting as well, because the track is going to cool down quite rapidly at various points on the course. So Nakamura still out in front of Al-Azhari, able to extend another 2/10 on the last lap. Here's the side-by-side. Rashid Al-Daheri dueling away with Deegan Fairclough. They're battling away for 5th position. Fairclough versus Al-Daheri. And Al-Daheri's been made to go the long way round. Well protected by Deegan Fairclough in the high-tech. Through to the W Hotel sequence. Deegan Fairclough really has the Midas touch at the moment. Everything he seems to touch turns to gold. And this is definitely going to help him out in terms of the support for his 2024 championship campaign. I really do rate Deegan Fairclough incredibly highly. He's had an amazing journey on the way up to F4. It's not been conventional by any means, but he's certainly taken full advantage of every opportunity he's been given. There's been a warning going on at turn 1 for track limits, and that's for Matteo Quintarelli, who's currently in 12th position. So Matteo Quintarelli for the Santalog team, given his warning there. He's got to be very careful about how it's going to continue on. Still, they duel away. But 14 Rashid Al-Daheri still swarming all over the back of Deegan Fairclough, and Dion Gowda looks like he may get an opportunity here as well. So Dion Gowda, who only managed to successfully complete one round of the F4 Indian Championship last month, but it certainly prepared him well for this. He's right up at the sharp end. Rashid Al-Daheri's got a good run here on Deegan Fairclough. He's having a think about it, and that did work. He wanted to get into the blind spot of Deegan Fairclough and just pop out, and look at the back end of Fairclough's high tech just twitching a little. This is exactly what Rashid Al-Daheri wants to do. He wants to intimidate. He's got a good run again in the slipstream. Up towards turn one. Which way will he go? Will he go right? Will he go left? I think he's going to have to go the right side, because that's where Fairclough's going to place him, but he's going to commit to the outside line. Can Al-Daheri run it right round the far side? There's a twitch from Fairclough. Is it going to be enough? Al-Daheri goes wide. So too does Fairclough. Al-Daheri keeps his foot in, and he's ahead, but Fairclough's still coming back at him. They jink out towards the W Hotel, and Al-Daheri's held it. Fairclough's going to try again. Now, this is going to go on and on and on, and Fairclough's got him run! Thought he had a chance on the inside there, but he decided to bail out of the throttle. No need to get on the brakes, just feather the throttle and get back the momentum a little bit later. Great racing so far. Excellent stuff. And still the drivers in the main battle in. Now, Al-Daheri is still holding this position in front of Fairclough, but Fairclough and Gowda definitely want to have a chance. Fairclough's going to get him! Perfect run out of the final turn of the Formula One circuit, and he makes his way down the Grand Prix main straight and into the position again. So Al-Daheri has got to regroup and try one more time. And to be honest with him, I have a feeling that's okay, because he probably would have got a penalty otherwise for gaining an advantage by going off the track. So fortunately for him, Fairclough was able to get the overtake, so I don't think a penalty will come his way now. Fairclough just trying to disappear now away from the Emirati in 6th position. Dion Gowda in 7th, then it's Stilp, Pin, Bedrin, Rodella, Quintarelli, Beaton, Scular, Narak, and Carrie Schreiner trying to work her way further forward. Now Carrie Schreiner's actually had a bit of a difficult start to the race, but it's going to be an interesting situation so far for them. So Schreiner has not quite made up the ground. I thought she had. The graphic there showing 26th down to 33rd. Now, Al-Daheri dialing in again, hoping for the grid on Fairclough. A little bit further back, and we're looking at Zach Scular now, trying to take on the Australian Jack Beaton. Behind him is Narak, then Schreiner, Murad, Liu, Nobels, and we've got Everett Stack in the mix there as well. So plenty of good duels going on all the way through this field. So plenty of great racing coming. Out of the braking zone once again, and that is the 35, trying to dial in an opportune move. So still they battle on. Everybody's still trying to work their way forward. The 35, by the way, incidentally, is Alves Rodella, who's had a tricky start to the race. Finds himself down in 11th from what was 9th on the grid. The top 4 getting well clear, but Freddie Slater does look quite hungry behind Keanu Al-Azari. So the 2nd place battle could kick on a pace a little bit more. Rashid Al-Daheri still intimidating Fairclough. Gowda is there in the wings waiting for an opportunity. And that's a turn 7, first warning for track limits for Freddie Slater in 3rd place. So you can't overshoot. That's at the corkscrew, I do believe. And that's the trickiest part of the entire racetrack for our competitors. You can see how slippery it is. Look, there's no rubber laid down at all. They've only just started to lay down the rubber again, really, this weekend. And testing on that particular configuration only started yesterday morning. So there's the opportunity. Slater hustling Al-Azari. Al-Azari covers well, but will it be slow in, fast out for Freddie Slater? I think he may get an opportunity off the final turn. Al-Azari's going to have to cover. Nakamura Berta's in a world of his own up front. Here comes the challenge for 2nd. Al-Azari glued to the inside line. Slater swarms around. He's got good speed. Has he got momentum? He's going to try and sell Al-Azari the dummy. Keanu Al-Azari's well prepared for it. Can he get the chop across? No, Keanu Al-Azari wasn't born yesterday. Smart thinking from both drivers. And Alex Powell is just sat there in 4th position going, okay, boys, you scrap amongst yourselves. I'll pick up 2nd when you hit each other. The 2 in front have absolutely no intention of doing that. Still, they continue on. Nakamura Berta leads the way, pulling well clear of Keanu Al-Azari and Freddie Slater. Al-Azari had a very... So this is definitely becoming pretty tricky for Al-Azari to hold on to 2nd position now. There's Slater and Powell in behind. 5th place Fairclough. Al-Daheri and Dion Gowda. Then the next train of 5, that's Stilp, Pin, Bedrin, Rodella and Quintarelli. 16 minutes to go, and I have to say, a pure motor race that starts the season. This is what we wanted to see, and there are some very handy duels going on out there. So far, a very clean season, but then the professionalism and the level of the ability in F4 UAE this year is pretty high as far as I'm concerned. Some amazing talents. Nikita Bedrin in 10th position. If he can't get any higher than this, he'll be quite content to stay there because that'll give him pole position for race 2 tomorrow morning. So he's just got to keep himself to himself and not get into hot water with Dorian Pin in front. Dorian Pin wouldn't mind being overtaken by Nikita Bedrin if it means she gets a reverse grid pole tomorrow. And that's a bit of a mistake there. That's Quintarelli, I do believe, overshooting. No, actually, I think that might be Zach Scular. So Zach Scular having a moment, or is that the Santaloc of Quintarelli? It is indeed Quintarelli. I was right the first time. Go with your gut, Sanson. Across the line comes the AGI. That is Jack Beaton in front of Zach Scular. So clearly there is a car that's in trouble in the middle of that gaggle of cars. I think that must be a car that's being lapped, actually. Bit of a swarm around as Dorian Pin goes for broke. Oh, it's Alves Rodella. So it's Alves Rodella that actually had the issue and ran deep. First race of the season, get the cobwebs chopped off. So Stilp is under big pressure here from Dorian Pin, and then Pin is obviously under pressure now from Nikita Bedrin. As we look at Matteo Quintarelli in the Santaloc in 12th position. Then we've got Beaton, Scular, Narak, Schreiner, Murad. Still having a very good run of it. So Nakamura, Berta, Alazari, Slater and Powell. That's still your top 4. Fairclough still under big pressure here from Rashid Al Daheri. So there is Ivan David on the screen underneath Rafael Narak. Then Ye in 17th from Caranta, Murray, Rodriguez, Samalisto, Darianani, Restrepo, Busnelos and Riza Seraruthin. Big curbs that they take on the way through the corkscrew. Not easy to balance the car. Most people can still have those moments on the video games when they jump the curbs like that, but in these racing cars you really feel it. So in the top 10, we've got Nakamura Berta, who's now steady at the same sort of pace as Keanu Alazari in 2nd, Slater in 3rd, then Powell, Deegan Fairclough, Rashid Al Daheri, Dion Gouda. The man who jumped the start is next, that's 8th position. I mean, I say he jumped the start, it looks pretty clear cut to me. So still they are continuing on. Dorian Pin in 9th place, and looking for the reverse grid pole at the moment is Nikita Bedrin in 10th position in the number 10. So still they duel on. Nakamura Berta holding the line. 13 minutes left of this first F4 race of the season. There is Riza Seraruthin hustling Peter Buzanelos. So Seraruthin and Buzanelos having a nice duel. And then coming towards us, we've got another tasty battle. It's not just at the front end of the field where the races are going on. There's all sorts of duels in the midfield. And I have to say, the maturity and the discipline and the dexterity of the drivers in this first race of the season is admirable, because we have not yet, to my knowledge, had even so much as a yellow flag at the moment. A couple of lockups, though. That was a bit tricky, but somehow managing to make the corner without too much of an issue. I think that was Maxi Restrepo, the Colombian. A couple of drivers having a big moment, though, through the W Hotel. This is getting to be a bit of a scary duel. Everybody really pushing it on the way through. Trevor Noah in the background looks pretty frightened watching this. And that's Fu Yuhao running through in fine style. So still they continue on, and the pace is looking pretty strong up front. There is Freddie Slater dueling Keanu Alazari. So Slater looking to get a good run off the corkscrew in the hope that he can get in the slipstream now. Still putting in a fantastic run. Slater trying to get close enough to Alazari to have another go, but he just doesn't have the opportunity. Daylight is still there between Alazari and Slater. Alex Powell not wanting to get into hot water in his first ever F4 UAE race. And of course, Kiyo Nakamura Berta, fresh out of karting into the world of F4 and driving beautifully. So there is the gap back to 5th position. 3rd warning for the number 6, that is Gabriel Stilp. So not only is he under investigation for jumping the start, he's also got a 3rd warning for track limits. So Gabriel Stilp has got to be so careful. But then through his karting days, I always used to refer to Gabriel Stilp as the Gilles Villeneuve of karting. And as you can see, he's giving us plenty of entertainment again, locking up through the first corner to make sure that he doesn't overshoot. But now Dorian Pin sees the opportunity and goes, right, I can get him. Rodella in front of Quintarelli. 11th and 12th, those two. Big lock-up from Alves Rodella. Matteo Quintarelli not quite close enough in the Santa Lock to take advantage of that. So Alves Rodella in the XL Motorsport car, hoping for another opportunity. This is going to get pretty tricky from here on out. Drivers work their way through the W Hotel. God, they get close, don't they? Goodness me. And all it takes is one error in judgment, and you are going straight into that barrier, by the way. Alves Rodella now has a first warning for track limits at turn 1. So a very interesting situation so far. Nakamura Berta still holding on in front of Al-Azhari, Slater and Powell. Bit of a gap back, and then Fairclough, Al-Daheri and Gauda. Gabriel Stilp trying to shake off the attentions of Dorian Pin and Nikita Bedrin, who's just done a personal best, a 1:48.25. And there he is in 10th position in the gold and green machine. 11th place Rodella, 12th Quintarelli. Then in the background, that's Beaton, Scular, Narak, Carrie Schreiner, trying to work her way further forward into the top 16. I think that's actually Yvan David, who's in P16 in the Santalot car. But Carrie Schreiner is on the timing screen because, of course, we want to pick up the back of the field as well as picking up the midfielders. A really exciting situation in that middle field. So many drivers still hungry to move forward. Gabriel still the cork in the bottle at the moment as Pin, Bedrin, Rodella and Quintarelli are queuing up. Now Dorian Pin, who races in LMP2 when she's not in F4. She's going to be in the F1 Academy starting from March. So obviously getting some F4 track time is definitely going to be beneficial to her. Trying to work her way further forward. There she is in the 28 in the Prema-coloured car. I should say it's a scarlet-coloured car, but everybody who watches Feeder Series knows that the red and white means Prema. Red and white with the green stripe. Dorian Pin, 9th position. You reverse grid this, she'll start on the front row tomorrow alongside Nikita Bedrin, who's currently behind her. So not a bad way to start the season for Dorian Pin, right up in the top 10. An excellent situation for all of the contenders. So let's see how it all continues. Kia Nakamura Berta still holding station in the lead of the race here, but lapping quickly, half a second quicker than his peers, and certainly the only driver out there to lap in the 147s at this stage of the race. I think this is going to go green all the way to the finish line. What a brilliant way to start the season this is going to be. A pure motor race. Sometimes you don't need incident after safety car after safety car to have a decent run. You need to have a proper good run. So still they continue in fine form. Excellent performance for all of the situation. So still driving forward and continuing on the motion up the ladder. There is Beaton, Scular, Narak. Yvan David is in that little gaggle of drivers as well. The Sri Lankan driver, certainly the top driver at international level to be running that. So an excellent battle so far to the braking zone. That's one of the pinnacles trying to make a run. I think that's Kai Daryanani, who is the iRacing superstar turned racing driver. He once beat Dan Wells in a straight race on iRacing. Dan was so taken aback, he went, "Who on earth are you?" He told him, and he said, "Right, we're going to put you in a proper car and see if you can hack it." Something straight out of a movie. So excellent stuff from Kai Daryanani. Still putting pressure on the man in front. That is the Race GP driver in front of him. I think that is the rather unfortunate Lucas Samalisto, who's not had the best of starts to his F4 UAE campaign, as there is the high-tech machine. That is Sebastian Murray, who's already had a season behind the wheel. He was with the Crown competition team that ran here last year. Now, of course, in high-tech. Still having a sensational performance. And he's certainly in a team that he can feel comfortable with. I think a lot of drivers were kind of expecting a safety car or two in this one, and the driving standards have been so high and the professionalism from the race has been so strong that we haven't had one. 7 minutes to go. He touches wood as he says that, ladies and gentlemen, because he doesn't want to preempt a safety car when we don't actually need one. We've got a pretty good race going on. The Race GP cars there in the mix. That's Enzo Ye and Jules Caranta. There's Sebastian Murray, 19th, in front of the Chinese F4 champion Thiago Rodriguez, who is currently in 20th position for the XL team. Now there is the 77. That's Enzo Ye, the Italian for Race GP, trying to close up on Yvan David, the Sri Lankan driver for Santalok, in his first ever car race. So this is not an easy task for Yvan David, trying to defend from Enzo Ye, as we look at Sebastian Murray in front of Thiago Rodriguez. So Thiago Rodriguez, who hails from Macau, won the Chinese F4 Championship last year. Couldn't win the Macau F4 trophy race, though. That went to the man you're going to see in the race after this one. And that, of course, is the Formula Regional race. And the man in question was Arvid Lindblad. No longer an F4 driver. Here's the move on the inside, though. Jovan David trying to cover the move. That's brilliantly decisive from Jovan David. Gets the run, gets the overtaking move, as Dorian Pin is dueling away there with Gabriel Stilp, and I think she's made it through. Deegan Fairclough battling wheel-to-wheel with Dion Gouda. Now we're getting some proper racecraft wheel-to-wheel stuff as Gouda gets through on Fairclough, and Dorian Pin has worked her way past the number 6 of Gabriel Stilp. So Nikita Bedrin, they're in 10th position, but of course if Gabriel Stilp's going to get a penalty, which we think he may well do, then Stilp is going to obviously have problems. And that's going to put him down, and that's going to put Rodella onto reverse grid pole. Talk about the scrap from Deegan Fairclough all over the back of Dion Gouda. Runs wide, catches the car back. Up the crest, through the right flick, brake, turn in, don't lock the wheels. Go square left, down the corkscrew. This is not easy to get right. It's blind all the way, so you just have to turn in and hope you've nailed the apex. And if you haven't, it's too late. You've got to deal with it. Gabriel Stilp trying to shake off Nikita Bedrin now. Dorian Pin having managed to make the overtake and get through into 8th position. Very good work indeed from Dorian Pin. But this could be an interesting challenge up the inside line for Nikita Bedrin. Decides against it for now. Still got plenty of time, 4.5 minutes. You've still got a few choice overtaking moves at your disposal. So P10 is reverse grid pole. That is currently Nikita Bedrin, but if Gabriel Stilp gets a 10-second penalty for jumping the start, then of course that will hand the reverse grid pole to Alvies Rodella. So Nikita Bedrin wants to get himself into a decent position, round the far side of Stilp. Surely he can't go the long way round. Stilp locks up, holds the line. Nice try, mate. Have another go. Don't worry, mate, I will, says Nikita Bedrin. I'm coming for you right away, up towards the hotel. The next thing you see is going to be a big launch from Bedrin. Stilp is going to hold the inside line. And once again, Bedrin will try a neat tactic. Wants to come faster through the W Hotel. Under the bridge. And onto what is, of course, the main straight in Formula One. I wonder if Stilp has just overcooked the tyres a little bit now. And that has essentially dropped him into the clutches of Nikita Bedrin. Look at that twitch as he comes off the right-hander. Across the Formula One start-finish line, up to the square left. Here comes the launch from Bedrin. Stilp is not going to let him have that. No chance. Lovely defending from Stilp, but also good commitment from Bedrin. Thought he could hoodwink Gabriel Stilp. Stilp is no slouch. He's not going to be fooled by a cheap move like that one. Down the corkscrew again. Gouda, having got past Fairclough, is now getting away. And look who else is closing in on Deegan Fairclough. Dorian Pin's got a good chance. Dorian Pin is going almost 2 seconds a lap quicker than Deegan Fairclough based on the last lap. So excellent stuff so far. So Kia Nakamura still leads the way. Al-Azhari still second. Is Bedrin going to make this bid on Gabriel Stilp? Well, he's trying to catch Gabriel Stilp out. Stilp does lock up a bit though. That's all that Bedrin needs. That's an invitation. Can he get his opportunity now? In the slipstream. Stilp's going to send him right. So he takes the bait. Wheel to wheel. Wait for it, wait for it. Is there going to be enough speed? Can Bedrin get the job done before they even turn in? Stilp's going to attack back to the inside line. They're both going to lock up. It's stalemate between them. Brilliant racing. Is that all you've got, says Gabriel Stilp. Come on, mate, have another go. Nikita Bedrin just cannot find a way past Gabriel Stilp, and that's bringing Alvies Rodella and Matteo Quintarelli into the bargain. Nikita Bedrin does not want to get held up by Stilp here. Although, of course, he may not be aware of the fact that Stilp might have a 10-second penalty for jumping the start. And, of course, if that's the case, then Bedrin is actually looking at starting second on the reverse grid. So if he lets Rodella go through, he'll get the pole. But I don't know how aware of that situation he is. Second warning for the number 35 for track limits at turn 1. That is Alvies Rodella, who is looking to be a reverse grid pole. So he doesn't want to do that too many times, otherwise it might just disappear and be handed to his rival behind him, Matteo Quintarelli. What a phenomenal start to this F4 UAE season. It's been a fabulous run so far, and yet still at the second position battle, not much going on between Al-Azhari and Slater, but there is between Slater and Powell. Slater and Powell, who were, of course, teammates at Prema in the European Karting Championship last year in KZ2. Now they're battling away in F4 UAE, having a terrific run of it. And obviously, Freddie Slater denied Alex Powell the European Championship last year in KZ2. So this is definitely something that Alex Powell's going to want to try and take off him in their first car race in the UAE together. Still they roll. Oh, mistake from Slater! Gets on the curb. That's going to lose him momentum. Alex Powell's going to come at him like a hot balloon. But Slater recovers quickly. Alex Powell will want to pounce on him as soon as possible. And Waj Aaron is absolutely right. This is probably one of the cleanest races I've seen for a long time. You're not wrong, mate. Certainly in F4. It's been a long time since I've seen a race with 33 cars on the grid with no flotsam and jetsam in it. Excellent stuff. And it shows you the high quality and the high caliber of the racing drivers on show in 2024. But Slater has recovered well from that mistake. So let's see if Alex Powell has what it takes. Time runs down to 0, so we are on the penultimate lap, whatever happens now. So now we're just waiting for Kian Nakamura Berta to cross the line and start the final lap. Keanu Alazari's on his own now in second place. He'll be kicking himself for that start. So let's see if he is going to have a bit of pressure from Slater and Powell on the last lap. Al Daheri's got himself nicely into 5th position. So still they run in close proximity. Kian Nakamura Berta way out in front. Keanu Alazari second. There is Kian Nakamura Berta, the Japanese driver. Absolutely superb so far. And just disappearing, he's just gone. It's almost as if the rest of the field's in Dubai, he's in Abu Dhabi. He's just disappeared and left them for dead. That is so hard to do in F4. So here we go. The last lap of the first race of the season in the F4 UAE Championship. It's been clean as a whistle. Are things about to change on the final lap? Let's see if Powell has what it takes to intimidate and then get his teammate Freddie Slater for 3rd position. Britain versus the United States. He's been known in his karting days as the Jamaican sensation Alex Powell, but he's putting pressure on Slater, who locks up big time into the W Hotel section. But Alex Powell, who lives in Miami, Florida, wanting to become the first Formula One driver from Miami. He's part of the Mercedes F1 Junior program, of course. Well looked after by the likes of Gwen Legru and Toto Wolff at Mercedes F1. Coming off the turn, Slater and Powell matching each other for apex radius at the moment. But Powell just doesn't want to send it so early in his career in F4. He might have a chance, but if you make the mistake, you do it under the glare of the spotlight. Better to just bag some points and consolidate, especially when you consider that the Mumbai Falcons are actually trying to win the Teams Championship here, as well as the Drivers' Championship. Interestingly, coming into this one, the named drivers for the points for this race for Mumbai Falcons were actually Freddie Slater and Kian Nakamura Berta, so they've got the best of it at the moment, 2nd and 3rd. That'll do quite nicely for them. But out in front, Kian Nakamura Berta doing a grand job. 1st and 3rd for Mumbai Falcons. It's almost perfect for them. Alex Powell has one last look. Never going to do it from that far back, and Freddie Slater's not going to be half asleep on that one. Here comes Kian Nakamura Berta. He will take the checkered flag, and he wins in fine style the first race of the season in F4 UAE. Amazing stuff from Kian Nakamura Berta. Keanu Alazari in 2nd, Freddie Slater 3rd, from Alex Powell, Rashid Al Daheri, and Dion Gowda. And what a start to the season for Kian Nakamura Berta. From the start, disappeared into the lead. Never looked likely to be losing anything. An epic run. Didn't put a wheel wrong. A man who had so much bad luck in the world of karting. Yes, he became European champion. Yes, he became world champion in juniors. But on both occasions, he didn't win a race on the road to do it. It was handed to him by either points or circumstance. Now, in his first race in F4 UAE, he has come straight through and charged to victory. Excellent work for Kian Nakamura Berta. And as Chicane Soup on YouTube points out, first car win for Nakamura Berta. Probably won't be the last. Probably won't be the last this season. Absolutely terrific. A great start. Amazing from Kian Nakamura Berta. Consolidatory effort from Keanu Alazari. He picks up his best finish in F4 UAE. but he won't be satisfied. He knows that from pole position he could have taken a win here. And as several people are commenting on the stream, the cleanest F4 race they've ever seen. And I have to say I agree with them, but that shows you the standard of driving that we're going to get in 2024 in F4. There is an amazing plethora of talent in this season. When I saw the entry list for this one, I thought, aye, we're going to see some pretty amazing racecraft then. And we weren't wrong. Okay, so it may not have been bashing 7 bells out of each other, but with the talent we've got on display, that no doubt can come later in the year. Let's start cleanly and focus on real racing rather than bumper cars. The safety car driver probably half asleep during that race. Wasn't needed. Excellent stuff. And a great start to the F4 UAE Championship season. 14 races still to go and plenty of drama on the way. Into the pit lane and into Parc Fermé. Freddie Slater and Keanu Al-Azhari in position, but neither of them were quite able to get to the same level as the man in first position. What a start to his car racing adventure. Kian Nakamura-Berta, he carries the flags of both Japan and Croatia on his halo. I think it's Slovakia, actually. I do apologise. What a start. What a start to Kian Nakamura-Berta's incredible journey in cars. Absolutely superb. Not a wheel wrong in his first car race of the season. Just stunning. Half Slovakian, half Japanese, races under a British licence. He lives in London. And what a start for Mumbai Falcons in the Teams Championship too. What a start for Kian Nakamura-Berta in the Rookies Championship. It couldn't really have gone better for Kian Nakamura-Berta today. Saturday was a happy day. And it's also quite refreshing to see a different driver win the race than take a pole position. Keanu Al-Azhari still looks happy. You've got plenty to be happy about, mate. Second place, best ever finish in F4 UAE. The party has started early for Kian Nakamura-Berta. Look at that, the Alpine Academy supporting him all the way. And what a start to his F4 UAE journey. So there's your provisional result. Nakamura-Berta from Al-Azhari, Slater, Powell, Aldaheri, Gowda, Fairclough, Pin, Stilp and Bedrin. If it finishes like this, Bedrin gets the reverse grid pole, but Stilp may have a penalty coming his way for potentially jumping the start. Rodella could inherit it. Quintarelli from Beaton, Scular, David, Ye, Caranta, Narak, Murray and Tiago Rodriguez in the top 20. And then following on from that, we have Samalisto, Darianani, Siraruthin, Restrepo, Buzinelos, Max Popov, Kamal Murad, Kari Schreiner, Kaishin Liu, and Nicholas Stati of Australia. And incredibly, we had 33 starters and 33 finishers. That's an F4 race that you don't see every day, but it could become the norm for the 2024 season. Keanu Al-Azhari discussing with engineers there. Freddie Slater can be very happy. Third position on his debut in the United Arab Emirates. Pat on the shoulder there from his teammate Dion Gowda. So fabulous to see such incredible work from our young drivers. They definitely gave us plenty of entertainment out there, didn't they? Kian Nakamura-Berta talking there to Prema team principal Goffy Pirro. And he'll be very happy. Almost maximum points in the Teams Championship for the Mumbai Falcons. A first and a third. It's a perfect start. And I'm sure that wherever they are, Moid Tungakar and the rest of the Mumbai Falcons ownership are going to be very happy that the bandwagon just keeps on going. After last year, the battle between James Wharton and Tuka Tarpanen took centre stage. Now it looks like the battle between Kian Nakamura-Berta, Freddie Slater and Alex Powell, with an additional Yazid Academy driver thrown in, is going to be the battle royale of the season. Not a bad way to start the campaign. There's Enzo Ye, who's had a frustrating day at the office so far. Hopefully tomorrow will go a little better for him. For every winner, there is also a defeated driver. Jack Beaton coming over to congratulate Kian Nakamura-Berta. Always nice to see the competitors. There is Dorian Pin. Dorian Pin having a fantastic run. And Kian Nakamura-Berta, top spot. Very happy with the way things have currently gone. A race victory that he can be proud of. There is Aurelia Nobles. Tough race for her. So we will let the competitors get the way in. The podium ceremony is not far away. So for the moment, we will give you a little bit of a look back over some of the highlights of the first race, but the podium ceremony is not that far away. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now ready for the podium ceremony for the 2024 F4 United Arab Emirates Championship, certified by FIA. Round 1 here at Yas Marina and race 1, and a fabulous performance. We will bring out our top 3 drivers. In third position for the United Kingdom, Freddie Slater. A fabulous start for the Mumbai Falcons driver from Great Britain, and a brilliant way to start the campaign. In second position for the United Arab Emirates, Keanu Al-Azhari. His best ever finish in the F4 UAE and the Yazid Academy. A fabulous way to start his campaign. But in first position, representing Great Britain, Kian Nakamura-Berta. An epic start. He leaps from the stairs, and an amazing performance. He will take the win in both the race and the Rookie Cup. And in deference to our man on the top step of the podium, we will hear the national anthem for the United Kingdom. We are told there will be no national anthem today, so we'll carry on. I do apologise, gentlemen, but we do have, of course, the trophy presentation. It will be presented by Mr. Ong Mo Chai, who is the Deputy General Manager of GT Tyre China Investment Company Limited. So he will come forward to present the trophies to our very talented men on the podium, having had a fabulous opening race of the season. First of all, to our driver in third position, Freddie Slater. And to our man in second position, Keanu Al-Azhari. And to our winning driver on the top step of the podium, who also wins the Rookie Cup trophy, Kian Nakamura-Berta. A magic start to the season in the F4 UAE Championship. We'll have a group photo with all of the competitors and the trophies. Excellent performance for our three drivers, for Freddie Slater, for Keanu Elazari, and for Kian Nakamura-Berta. A perfect start to this thrilling season, and there's definitely going to be an exciting battle for the title right from the outset. Can't wait to see how this is going to go. We've had all the pictures. Now it's time for the drivers to celebrate in style as they get busy with the fizzy. An epic start to a brilliant season. It's just going to keep getting better and better from here. We cannot wait to see how it's all going to continue to progress in the F4 UAE Championship. Ladies and gentlemen, your top three, Freddie Slater, Keanu Elazari, and Kian Nakamura-Berta.
I didn't waste it.